Hopi are beginning to witness the plunder and destruction of their Mother Earth, as foretold in the prophecy passed down to them from the Great Spirit. According to the Hopi Prophecy, the ancestors of the modern Hopi came up from beneath the ground, and the Great Spirit taught them how to live in harmony with all creatures. They were given a stone tablet etched with a diagram of the prophecy so that the Hopi would continue to follow the teachings of the Great Spirit.
As I mentioned in 1948, when the elders met, religious leaders, they mentioned that at the time of emerging from another world to this new planet, near Earth, they met the Great Spirit, Masawa, they called him in Hopi language. And he gave all the instructions. And he also told him that those that have received sacred stone tablets were chosen as to be Hopis. They were directed to this area, and they were to take care of this land. And they have chosen this area because Great Spirit told them this is the backbone of this country, meaning there's more mineral resources here, which must be held by spiritual leaders until later, when human beings or people who are inventing things would use it in a proper way. And they put sacred shrines on top of these four directions, mountains. So their ancient shrines are there. And from this spiritual center, they direct their prayer ceremonies, prayer feathers, and everything for the balancing of nature and everything in this world. It's directed from here to the edges of land and around the world. So this land was continued to operate in the pattern that was laid by Great Spirit, that we must not disturb them. So that's why they picked this place to take care of it. We look to this as a very sacred area.
The Kiva is a ritual underground sanctuary symbolizing the womb of Mother Earth. The ceremonies and prayers of the Hopi are held inside the Kiva.
Ancapi suyan yan bekan ang ita nabuti usa ni kay ancapi ita hi sa habi ya sang ang ye pakam yes kya jam to ita me akhapina ikinaya itam habi hinta kad awsat talemnaya nikyang.
This is the place where the Hopi elders passed down the prophecy to the next generation. According to the prophecy, the Great Spirit had warned the Hopi that resources were dormant there, that these resources were not to be mined until humans learned to use them for peaceful ends, that they must not be used for war or destructive purposes. The ancestors then recorded the prophecy on a rock in a valley as a warning for future generations. There are two horizontal lines set to indicate path and three circles. Thomas Banyacya tells of their significance in the Hopi prophecy.
On the lower road which the Great Spirit made for this land called America today, and a white brother came, and he has another road. They refer to that upper road, which is more a materialistic path. It's man-made ideas, man-made inventions, and disturbings of nature with those things. It might be that it might destroy this land again. So the Hopi and native people were to follow this lower road through prayer, meditations, and ceremonies, so that this land and the whole world would be in balance. Wind will not be destructive, earthquake will not be too severe, rain will not be destructive, lightning will not be destructive. All this we're told. So on this path, there's two circles. The circle here was given to all of us before we separated. A white brother went over to someplace. There's no end to that circle, and that has a lot of sacred meaning in a religious society. So a white brother took that. Instructions and warnings were given him also. But when he came back, he may have changed that. So he brought in another symbol called cross. When he does that, we know that he's going to start changing the law of the Great Spirit and law of nature and do things in his own way. So we must be very careful signing things to let big companies come into this area, start taking coal, uranium, oil, and gas out of it. The tribal council came about because the government wants somebody to sign big development out here because they have money to provide to Hopi and Navajo to use, but somebody had to sign it. There was no tribal council. The leaders don't want that. So they set up this tribal council and put pressure on them and told them that now you have a chance to approve this because you'll have more money coming, more income, better way of livelihood, and more conveniences and all that. But they don't tell them what's going to happen, like strip mining coal. They don't have the dangers in uranium mining. They don't understand.
Red Rock Village on the Navajo land was the first site of uranium mining within the United States. The U.S. government used uranium taken from Indian land to construct atom bombs to destroy Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Previous imported uranium stocks had been consumed during the Manhattan Project for the world's first nuclear test.
Somebody may be able to invent what they call gold full of ashes. That if they ever invent that and throw it on the ground someplace, it'll burn everything to ashes. Just like we found out it happened in two cities in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Those two events have brought these leaders together in 1948. So they talk about all the things that's known to the Hopi up to that point. We know that that's the fulfillment of a Hopi prophecy. So that's why in 1948, the elders got together and for the first time they told us to the world to let them know that we are in a dangerous period now, that we should let the world know that if we go on further like that, mankind going to be totally destroyed again. So that's why they told us to carry this message wherever we go. That is exactly what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Everything burned up, people, property, and many living things will die from heat. And then so many sickness comes out of it for many years that many of our medicine will not cure them. And there'll be perhaps the radiation was spread out so far. And these are some things they described. It's so amazing that they knew about this in Hopi language. And that's what happened in these two places, those circles. Someplace someone's going to invent a gold full of ashes. So we interpret these two circles, First World War, Second World War, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The consent of the elders, religious leaders, they don't want it to be taken out, but they violate it by coming in without permission and develop this and throw it in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And around that area, they have, towards west, they have open pit left there, and then they had a process plant near the east of Moncapi village, not very far from there, and they left piles of that waste there. It's now creating much disturbance to this land and life, and the people have become sick, and the cancer development and deformed babies are being developed there. And so this is what they told us that was made happen, so that we must never allow that to be happening. Problems now coming to all our native people across the land, like prophecy said, that white man would bring many of his ideas and ways and religion, and also use some of the inventions to try to force or influence many of young people to go that way, to live like a white man. And the fourth figure up on top represents one of our own people who joined those white people and tell the people, forget your culture and religion and go this way, material path. They will invent that zigzag line going up, represents the advancement, scientific things going up and down. Probably toward last stages, going up and down. That means they're going to be power enough to go to the moon. Many people have already done that, and they even told us not to bring anything down that moon to Earth, because that will also disturb the balance of nature, universe. Nature, they're going to interfere with balance of everything, so that it may be there'll be severe earthquakes, severe flooding, severe natural disaster like lightning, great wind become destructive more and more as we go up there. And they may even succeed in manufacturing or making people. Like today we see in test tubes, they said they're making people, babies, being manufactured almost like, that's what Hopi knew that. There'll be earthquake, more severe storm, and everything will hit us, because those that area that have developing those things, they're going to be hit by those things more and more. More earthquake, more tidal waves, more season changing, or maybe wind and rain going to be destructive. All this is merely warning us that we must stop these things. So if we begin to see more earthquake, eating more people, they say, we see changes of season more and more. There'll be severe winter, severe drought, or there may be great wind destructive, killing people, destroying property. And then there'll be great flooding by rain, and maybe mountains going to blow their tops, and maybe land be sinking for some reason. And then toward last, maybe lightning is going to start hitting us rather than that, because we have not followed the law of Great Spirit. We have not fulfilled the mission that we were put to by the Great Spirit. Another circles on the top of the line. That may be Third World War that might break out. Or it may be that people, by this time, there's a line drawn there, go back and... Today they said this is where we are today. If we see many advancements scientifically going up, if we just use that power, atom bomb, nuclear power, coming out from mineral resource, make that, we're going to destroy ourselves with that someday. That we better change, we better stop mankind, so that we won't bring on the third world event or third world war. Because if that happens, I don't know if any will be leaving here, because they're going to use all this hydrogen bomb, which they stockpile. They're going to blow up everything. Sooner or later, more destructive things are going to be developed. Nature may also act. Maybe tomorrow, big earthquake hit the White House, everything will crash. Or maybe some other place, maybe one of these nuclear power might blow up because the wind or lightning may hit that, or maybe earthquake. These things are dangerous that we're coming towards.
But I think we're going to have to take whatever action is necessary to increase
increase domestic supplies of energy. That is the answer to our problem, instead of continuing foreign dependence and thinking that we can meet the problem just by conservation. By conservation means we'll all either have to be too hot in the summer or too cold in the winter.
So right there where the line comes down, people that realize it, people who begin to see the danger, the wrongness of it, when men began to see that their life is going wrong direction, they would come back down here. They would come back to the spiritual people who are still living here in this called America, native people. Spiritual leaders still holding on to the instructions so that we will not destroy this whole world. We follow love, the Great Spirit. So maybe at that last circle, people will begin to do away with. And then there are few people will be going along here, and then we join together here, and then whoever comes out of this, we call Purification Day. It will clean up all the wrongdoing, stop all mistreatment of people, misusing of mineral resources, and whoever comes out will meet the Great Spirit again, because I'm the first and I'll be the last. A long life, good life, back the Great Spirit want us to, so that this land would go on. And sooner or later, the whole world, native people across around the world, they call them minorities, but those minorities going to join someday, and the white man's going to be a minority. The minorities will be a majority, and the table will turn, and that's when the white man's going to have to answer for all the things they have done. They may have to be punished for many, many times more than what they have been doing to native people up to this point. This is one of the prophecies also. Well, the Hopi mentioned actually 2 worlds before this one, and this is the 3rd one. But this one, 3rd one, was to go on forever. If the people begin to disturb this land and life like they're doing now, they just might destroy it. But if the people realize the dangers, wrongness of it, then they can put that aside and bring about self-purification. After this is done, then it will be just like entering another 4th world. The world will be clean, beautiful, everything in balance. Animal and birds, plant life, revive, will become back home, and we will start a clean life again from there on. So that's the way they explain it.